Alright everybody, welcome back to the channel. Appreciate you being here today. So I've told you guys on here countless times throughout multiple videos, mainly when I started the Scotland videos, that my family has always told me that my ancestors originated from Scotland and Germany. That's where the main two places I've been told that we came from. Now with Scotland, I automatically assumed just the UK in general, but they've told me Scotland, Scotland, Scotland. And when you look, I mean, my name on here is Kyle McPherson. That is my name. My last name does obviously have Clan McPherson from Scotland. So, I naturally assumed it was all real. I just believed it. And then I figured, you know what? I'm going to take a DNA test. Because when I started this channel, I started dipping into all these countries and everybody's been so generous and nice. I thought, I want to know exactly where we came from. I want to know my family's history. So, as you can tell by the title of the video, I took a DNA test and I thought, you know what? Let's share the results with everybody and just see what people think. You know, this might interest you, this might not. If it doesn't, I apologize. I'll get back to our normal videos after this. But I thought, hey, let's just check this stuff out. So, I think I know how to work this website properly to not show my family members' information, because most of them say they don't really want to have it out there, which I totally get. I totally 100% understand. So yeah, without further ado, let's just dive into it here. And if you see a random cut, it's because I don't know how to work the website and actually show people stuff. So, without further ado, right off the bat, when I click on it and got my results, Scotland, England, Northwestern Europe, and Ireland are all the top three. It doesn't really shock me too much. That's where I've been told I'm mainly from, and it looks to be 100% correct on there. Germanic Europe down there at 2%. Doesn't really shock me a whole lot. You know, my grandmother on my mom's side would always tell me we hailed from Germany, but she didn't know if that meant just we had German or if they moved to Germany and then moved over to the States. It looks like they probably moved from the Ireland, Scotland area to Germany and then moved over to the U.S. So the ones that kind of shocked me is the Russia at 1%, Eastern Europe and Russia. And then the Sweden, Denmark, and Norway. That one kind of shocked me because they've never one time ever said, hey, Kyle, we might have, some Viking genes in us or something like that. I mean, heck, from the way I look at it, I could be 14% Viking, which doesn't really shock me with my manly beard and my braids that I have here. So that one shocked me a little bit. But at the same time, I also looked at it as like, well, the cold weather doesn't really bother me, and from what I understand, those countries can get pretty cold. North Scotland, I've heard, can get cold, but I've also heard that it stays around 40 and 50, so I don't know what to believe there. But the Russia one kind of shocks me a little bit, just because they've never one time said that. So, the more I look at it, you can scroll down a little bit on here, and then if you click on this, it tries to break down the best it can, your paternal, your maternal, DNA. And if you look on here, it says that I got 39% from Scotland, 29% from my father, and 10% from my mother. My mom at 15%, my dad at 16% for England. My mom has more Irish, and then the one that gets me is my mom's grandma, or my mom's mom, my grandma is the one that always told me from Germany. They do have the 2% of the Germanic Europe. So, she could be, absolutely correct. I would have laughed my rear end off if it had been on my dad's side, and she'd have been saying that the whole time. But it is what it is on that. I'm happy with all this, Actually, I'll be 100% honest with you. There's more countries on here than I thought there would be. And I think that's what makes me the most happy is I can look at them and say, well, I'm a star. I have, we're working on Germany. We got a little bit going on Scotland, but I have all these other countries I can dive into just based off of what they're saying that I come from. Now, obviously, these tests aren't 100% accurate. But I think it's pretty obvious, looking at me physically, that, I do come from Europe as far as my ancestors go. So I thought it was interesting, to see this on here, that my father and his side of the family, is mainly Scotland, England, the UK, I'll say, with a little bit of Sweden and Denmark. And then my mom, they're more sprinkled throughout all of Western Europe with a little bit of Russia, which, I thought that was very, very interesting. I'm not gonna lie, it makes me happy to know that at least that was somewhat truthful. And, this channel is made to be around exploring the world, but I obviously picked Europe first because I kind of felt like that's where I'm from, and I'm sorry, that's where my ancestors originated, and I would like to, learn more about it and see some of these places I might be able to visit. Excuse me a second. Yeah, sorry, it's been a long day already, and I've been talking so much. So yeah, these are the main areas. If I scroll further down through here, this is where it says that my DNA connects us, blah, 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 into the states. Now, I'm obviously from Ohio. It does have it going all the way out here to Iowa, Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, and a little bit of Ohio. If I scroll a little bit further down, you got West Virginia, Virginia, the Maryland, New Jersey, Delaware, which maybe, I can't speak on that. And then Eastern Kentucky, right there into Tennessee a little bit, but not really. So obviously I'm from Ohio. I've lived here my entire life. Excuse me, apologize. If I click on these stories, it does pop up with possible ancestors. I got people fighting in the Civil War. Now, a story my grandmother has always told me, and she sticks to it, and I'm going to dive more into it once I get going further into this as well. Now, I'll tell you guys real quick here. I don't want to make it too long of a video, but, we're at 6 minutes. So, when the American Revolution, right before the American Revolution happened, the area that we live in currently, and my family and I, we all live here, one of my ancestors actually scouted the land close to here, about 10-ish miles away from here, with George Washington, our first president here in the U.S. And to me, that was always one of the most fascinating aspects of my ancestors. I kind of expected them to fight in some of the wars and stuff, and I love that. I think that's amazing that they, are willing to serve their country. But for some reason, that scouting the land before we were the U.S., before we had our personal land here, before the Ohio was even a state, we weren't established as a state until 1804. They were scouting the land with George Washington. And there's actually a sign about 4 miles down the road. I said 10 miles. It's a 10-mile radius, I should have said, of land that they scouted. About 4 miles down the road, you can actually see there's a sign somewhere down there where it says his name and scouting the land, and ended up being not where we settled, but that he was in this area. We settled about 15 minutes the other way, it was perfect for our family farm that we had, and it was absolutely perfect. Anywho, that was my story there. So yeah, it pinpointed me directly to where I'm at here in the States. Obviously, like I said, I'm in Ohio. But I'm definitely within a couple hours driving distance to Kentucky, West Virginia, Pennsylvania. I'm right there. So if we scroll further down, I skip by the DNA. So we get here, and I can zoom out a little bit, and you can see where it's pinpointing little ancestries, little DNAs connected to me throughout the states, which that doesn't shock me. My family is massive on lots of sides. When I actually zoomed into Ohio, it popped up with a lot of my actual family that I know and speak to on a regular basis, which that was really cool for me. That was really, really cool. So, but what I wanted to show you guys, hopefully I'm on the right side over here. Yep, okay, I'm on that side. So what I wanted to show you guys, if I zoom all the way out, got it here in Alaska, here in Hawaii. So let's go over here to Europe. This is what it's showing me. It says Germanic Europe. It says Scotland, England, Ireland, Wales, that kind of stuff. If I scroll over to Russia, I don't see anything here in Russia, which it only said 1%, so that could have went away. Denmark, Norway, Sweden, nothing in there, but there is one right here in the Netherlands, and that one kind of shocks me a little bit, but this is the one that really gets me. If I come all the way over here, says I have people in Australia and New Zealand. And what are the odds? I've been doing New Zealand on the channel as well. So I found that extremely, extremely fascinating. I don't know. I don't know if this was a good video for you guys. I don't know if it's something you guys would enjoy. But it's something that I've been super, super interested in. And I don't know. It's just something, I can utilize this to help dig into some more countries for us to enjoy and learn about. And yeah, that's just kind of where I'm looking at it with with the whole channel and with life in general. Alright, so there was one of those random cuts because I started to kind of lose track of what I was saying. I was getting excited and going nuts over here. But what I was doing while I was sitting there, I was like, what am I doing? So, when I clicked on Scotland, it brings up, a bunch of different things. But if I actually zoom in on the map, a little bit of France on there, which it does pop up Northwestern Europe. So I thought, okay, that's cool. And when we scroll over here, it says Germanic Europe. And I guess if I'd have been smart enough to realize that it doesn't say Germany, it says Germanic Europe. So that's got Netherlands. That I would assume this is what maybe Germany was before it was a sovereign state and in a country itself. But Netherlands, Liechtenstein, Switzerland, Austria. I'm assuming I don't want to say incorrectly. Is that the Czech Republic? I don't want to say incorrectly. Slovenia for Eastern Europe, and then we got Poland, Ukraine, Moldova, Hungary, and then obviously Russia itself. And then we scroll up here, Sweden, Denmark, Norway. It's kind of weird how we just skip Finland, but it does dip into Finland a little bit there. Wow. This is crazy. Absolutely crazy. So, alright. That was kind of the video I wanted to make. I'm sorry I'm a little bit all over the place, so let me know if this is something you guys enjoyed. If it is, then maybe we might continue to do one of these. I kind of want to do a 23andMe as well, just to test them side by side and see what they say, see how much different they are and stuff like that. But I don't know. It really interested me, and I thought, what better way to share it than with the family we're trying to build here online, and so yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Leave a like if you did. Comment down below. If you're from any of these areas that it's on here. I started being so basic, and I wish I'd have done this at the beginning of the video. Just how deep it really goes, and it just, well, yeah. Anyway, okay. So yeah, like I said, leave a like on the video if you liked what you've seen. Comment down below if you have any questions, or if you're from these areas. Share it with all your friends. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It helps me tremendously, and it's free for you. But other than that, yeah, thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate it, and yeah, have a good rest of your day.